I mean, I noticed you used some quite unique looking guitars on stage anyway. Were those the ones you built yourself?
I don't think so. Those were all destroyed in one tour. That was about like 4 years ago, probably, at least.
See a backstage wall.
The ones I use now are just, I use this same Jaguar a lot.
See a backstage wall.
Hi guys, it's the Wastewood Rocker here, and today I'm doing the first part of a little series thing which I'm going to be doing on my custom Kurt Cobain S66 Jaguar. So basically the story is I ordered this guitar from MJT sort of around the start of 2020, so this year. It was finished in summer, but I hadn't got around to making a video of it yet. Some people had asked me about this in the comments of other videos and stuff, so some of you probably already knew this was coming, some of you probably didn't. But yeah, anyway, basically in this video I'm going to go through an overview of the build process and how everything sort of came about. So I'm basically going to go through some of the conversations and exchanges I had with MJT and the whole process behind building this guitar, and then in the next part I'll be doing a sound demo where I'm going to try and cover sort of a wider range of sounds that I basically use on this guitar. It's because it's quite a versatile instrument, and I want to sort of broaden my horizons with what I'm doing on this channel in terms of sound. So yeah. So I'd first heard about MJT through my guitar tutor, who had a couple of guitars from there that he'd sort of built himself. So I went to their website and got in contact with one of the people who work there, and it sort of just went from there. I think I contacted them about January, and then the whole thing sort of kicked off not long after that. Basically, MJT are a company that specialised in sort of aged finishes and bodies for Fender style guitars. They basically got the body for me and some of the hardware, like some of the chrome plates, for example the upper sort of control plate on the horn, the tremolo piece, the tuners, all sort of stuff like that. They provided for me, and then the rest was sort of ordered from other places and shipped directly to them. So the first piece of the guitar that MJT sent me a picture of was the neck, and I had actually ordered this neck from Warmouth, and it was completely custom, so I customized all the specifications and then had it shipped directly to MJT's factory. So the specs for the neck, if I can remember correctly, were the standard thin profile, 9.5 inch radius, the tall narrow Japanese style frets, a Graphtec nut, and the small Strat style headstock with a 24 inch scale. I ordered the neck unfinished because MJT were going to do a vintage nitro finish on it, so that was sort of how I wanted it. I ordered it from Warmouth just like in the pictures you're seeing, and I also ordered it with the Perloid dot inlays. So basically it's an exact replica of the Fender Kurt Cobain signature Jaguar neck, except I chose different frets. So the next thing that arrived was the next thing that they sent pictures of was the body, and it had arrived from wherever they sourced their bodies from. It was just a standard Jaguar body in alder wood, and it had a swimming pool route so that I could have the HH setup. Previously I had sent them pictures of Kurt's actual guitar so that they could sort of model the paint job of the Sunburst on his actual guitar. Another thing was with the bridge posts. The pickguard I had ordered had a slanted bridge, which is what Kurt's actual guitar had. So, and they had drilled the body to have just a standard straight bridge, so one of the holes had to be filled in before they painted it, and then when I had actually received the body, I sent it to a local tech who drilled out the hole and sort of put the whole thing together for me. So this is sort of what the guitar looked like after it had been initially painted in the Sunburst. The paint job they modelled it on was from an image of the 1991 show I think it was the Rock for Choice benefit, 1991 at the Palace. So that was sort of I sent them a few images and they sort of molded the paint job off some of those specific images, because in different lights it sort of looks different depending on why the lighting is and the camera angle and stuff. So I wanted to sort of get a paint job where the red line was the red and the Sunburst was a lot less faded, so that they did a great job at getting that right for me. So this was their sort of initial attempt at the Relic, where I think they purposely sort of like underdo it, if you know what I mean, just in case like you don't want them to relic it too much. But yeah, this was sort of their initial go, and they sent me this and they asked me if it was good enough or if I wanted more. So I sort of looked at it and I thought that I looked at the images of Kurt's guitar and I sort of thought that, you know, his looked a bit more beat up, so I sort of asked them to have another go. So this was their second go at relicking it. They did a bit more, and this was the one that I was happy with. So after they'd sort of done this, what you see in the images here, they went ahead and polished it and then started work on the other parts of the guitar. So this is the final finished nitrocellulose body that after it was polished, and you can see what it looks like in the images. They also added like dirt and stuff into the relicing. So this was the neck after it was tinted and had the lacquer applied to it. They added Clouson vintage style tuners and also gave the headstock a very light sort of relic. For the Fender logo, I had to order that separately off a website called Etsy. So this was the final pick of everything they sent. So you can see the hardware there, which the bridge I had to order custom. It's a height adjustable tunematic, so I had to order that to go with the neck radius, because obviously most tunematic bridges go with guitars with necks that have 12-inch radiuses, but Fender necks are 9.5, so I ordered a bridge where you can adjust the saddles to compensate for that, and then there you can sort of see the control plates, which I ordered from Faction Guitars, and the other hardware. Then when the parts and the guitar arrived from MJT to me here in Ireland, I basically sent it straight to my local tech, who's called Tony, and he did a really good job for putting everything together and assembling the whole thing. As you can see in that image, that was him about to put the logo on the headstock, and then here is the body with all the electronics and wiring done. The two pickups are both vintage DiMarzios. So the neck is a vintage PAF and the bridge is an 80s Super Distortion, and for the rest of the wiring I just bought a 62 Jaguar wiring kit, and then I also bought the toggle switch and extra pot separately. So this is the guitar now. This was just taken yesterday after I set it up and put some Elixir strings on it. But yeah, I've had it since midsummer and I'm really happy with it. It's really great, and I do prefer the relic and paint job to the sort of the actual Fender version, and I think it's a really unique thing to have, especially with the vintage pickups, and I sort of feel that it's a more accurate replica than the Fender version, apart from the bridge, which I chose to purposely make different, and apart from the fact that it's obviously right-handed, and I think it sounds great. So I'm really happy with the job that MJT have done.